Hello, everyone, and welcome to our next session of Federal Bureau of Control 1968. I'd like to thank all of you for coming back, especially my players. It's a quick sort of inside baseball. We just spent probably 45 minutes trying to figure out why some of us were using next gen video conferencing technology, and others of us were being, well, our frames were being mailed through the post one frame at a time. And we were not successful. So there's going to be a little bit of wonkiness, I think, on some ends. There, you might get a little bit of stop motion here and there, a little bit more than usual, but we're going to soldier on. So, with that having been said, how's everybody doing? Good? Yeah?
We're starting to cool off now.
Looking forward to officially solving our first case.
It's very close. It's very close. In fact,
you still have a chance to die before that.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We aren't out of the tropical island Aruba woods yet.
Right.
And I am
those woods are scary.
32. Sabermetrics.
Oh, I'm looking about a 13 out of 25.
Okay.
I think I'm at a 6.
Jeez, we are fucked.
Remember, I was at a 1.
I do think of you as a 6, Lance.
Oh! Oh!
Shots fired?
Still, I have the other side of the scale, so you know. I would be a 6 out of 27, which is a lot worse than, say, like a 6 out of 7.
You're right. You're right. Absolutely. Okay. So let's get back into it. So when we left off last time, the lot of you, Section C, had managed to extricate one Daniel Hamacher, strapped rather unceremoniously to a reclining beach chair, out of the swirling blue-purple maelstrom on this sort of Tahitian beach in nowhere. He'd managed to fight off these 3 sort of storm men creatures and successfully retrieve him. Now, the only question is, how the hell do you get out? And so, with that in mind, with a addled but at least freshly changed gentleman in a nearby hut, shack, I should say, and something going on in the woods, it's now time to begin again. So, Section C, what are you going to do? No. What is it? Yes.
Is Daniel Hallmacher out of the chair yet? Last time I remember, he was still strapped.
He's still strapped. Remember, one of the straps was removed, but there's still 2 along it.
All right, I would like to remove the rest of the straps.
And I will assist in doing that.
Okay. You now that you have ample time and are not being slowly chased. Yeah, harassed is a kind of a light verb for it, but okay. Harassed by these storms. Yeah.
Harried might be a good word for it.
Bothered by these
I mean,
storms.
Harry certainly got harried by this place.
Right. Get the hell out of my call, please. Thank you. Yeah, so now that you have this time and this leisure, you undo the straps, and sure enough, there is that still white as a sheet, sort of, muscle tightened, staring up into the sky in horror figure of Daniel Hamacher lying on the beach chair. He, of course, as he did before, appears to still be alive. He's breathing and everything, but he's in some kind of not quite a catatonic state, but something akin to like a trance.
Unresponsive.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be responsive to anything other than whatever thing he's seeing in his mind's eye.
So
I
he
would
doesn't
like-
seem to be aware of us at all.
He does not seem to be aware of anything else except whatever he's staring directly at. And he's been staring at a kind of a spot in the sky this whole time. It's not like
It's
he's
the same spot.
Yes. Well, basically, his head is reclined slightly and up, and it hasn't moved, and his eyes haven't tracked since you've
So
been
it's
moving.
not like moving his head to keep
No.
sight
no.
of the spot.
Okay.
He's just
Staring straight ahead.
bodied.
Cullen is going to slap him gently, and then name something from his past that only he and I would know. Like, think of your whatever that's very personal to shock him out of that shock.
Okay, so point of order, where are you slapping him?
Across the cheek.
Okay. Didn't know if this was going to be like a, get in there, chief, butt pat, or, if this was a prelude to a kind of an S&M relationship that you're developing with Daniel Hammacher. I just need to know for sure.
I mean,
I'm
for
slapping
Colin,
him
that would
in
be
the
a
face.
little bit like masturbation.
Maybe.
Not quite
Yeah,
a cologne.
because
He has
Daniel's-
2 personalities.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I have 2 personalities now.
Just don't think of anything that Daniel Hammacher thinks while you're doing it, and then it'll be like normal.
It's very hard because I have 2 brains rattling around in my brain.
Well, that's not the only thing that's
Well,
very
we don't
hard.
know if it's hard. We don't know if he's into it or not.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Colin
yeah,
might.
we would have to get discussion first.
Are we
negotiate.
here already? Is the
Yeah.
Well, technically, we've been at this for 15 minutes already.
Okay, Cullen, roll for erectness, I guess.
We don't talk about Fable.
Oh,
Uh,
Jesus.
am I adding any modifier to this?
No, you are just slapping Daniel Hammacher across the face. And there is a kind of like, there's a stunned look in his eyes. He blinks a couple of times. He reacts to the blow, and then he seems to be looking around at the lot of you kind of all over the chair.
I'm going to take off my helmet
Mhm.
and kind of smile reassuringly. I have an ability that makes any ally that can see me have advantage on checks against being frightened or charmed. So I'm just going to try to keep his attention and try to make him think that I'm a friendly figure, and kind of adopt a kind of like very caring, almost doctorly disposition with him.
Okay, yeah.
Excuse me, are you all right?
Yes. Who are you? Where am I?
We are part of a special federal agency. We were sent to find you. We understand that you've undertaken a sort of strange journey, if you don't mind my saying.
Now, Cullen, you wanted to bring up something that only Daniel Hammacher knew. What do you want to
Yes.
bring up?
Well, I want to do something that would be like, kind of like want him to get out of this area. So like, like think of your daughter's event that might be happening shortly that you want to go to and support, something like that.
Okay, so you're going to remind her of her adult daughter's Little League game so that she can...
All right.
Okay, so you're going to mention Aretha, his daughter, and in doing so, his attention immediately bounces from Reese to you. What where is she? How you gotta take me to her.
She's at your store. We came here to rescue you.
Well, where the hell am I?
As far as we're aware, you have been on a bit of a journey. Can you tell me what you saw when you were staring at the sky?
Well,
But before my colleague here gave you a little bit of a wake-up snap.
okay. This is gonna. Are we at a beach? What?
You could say
You
that,
asked
yes.
the
If
magic
the-
lamp for a vacation.
What?
You asked a genie for a vacation.
I'm trying to be delicate here, Colin.
What the?
Oh,
What the
that's
hell are
fair.
you guys talking about? I don't.
Do you recall in your shop you had a lamp, a little bit about yay tall, has a bit of green glass marbling, doesn't have an electronic cord on it at all? Do you recall that lamp?
Uh, sorry. Yeah, yeah. It
Now-
has stained glass kind of thing, and
Exactly, yes.
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So when you screwed a new light bulb into that lamp, do you recall what happened?
The last thing I remember clearly is, cleaning it down, polishing it up, because I was gonna put it out in the front and tag it for sale. Why did I pass out or something?
Do you recall a blue light or any sort of blue smoke?
No. Not that I could remember.
Probably for the best.
Well,
Well,
yes,
well,
most
Yeah.
likely.
what's that
Yes,
supposed
yes.
to mean?
So, unbeknownst to most people, there are
Mm.
certain
Reese, can
forces and
I have a quick
energies.
conversation with you outside before you finish this?
Oh, certainly. Just relax here. I'm going to go have a discussion with my
Okay.
and
Look,
I will
I-
step outside.
Follow with. Look, I can see you're trying to do the right thing here, but you also need to consider that if you, shall we say, bring him in on the secret, he loses a lot of control over his life.
That is true, yes. I suppose I didn't consider that to be an issue. I have had no control over my entire life, and it has worked out relatively fine.
Well, the flesh and blood parts of most of us really enjoy that, even if it doesn't work out so well for us. If possible, I'd rather it be his choice than ours. There's definitely a time and place to bring people in. If he doesn't remember, maybe it's for the best.
Then I will pose it to him as that. It's a choice. So,
All right, just remember, he was willing to rub the lamp.
right, yes.
All right,
And
head back
then
inside. I need a moment to focus myself.
Okay.
And I'm going to head in and say, so my colleague has reminded me that the elements that we deal with have a certain level of confidentiality attached, and that if I go into them too deeply, then you may lose some agency within your own decisions of your life. So my question for you is, do you want a full explanation, or would you like us to work outside of your vision to try to get us home?
What the hell are you talking about?
The question is, would you like to know certain secrets that, if you know them, might take certain aspects of your life out of your own control? Or would you like to stay ignorant of those elements and allow us to go about our work with the singular purpose of getting you home?
Oh,
The
what?
question is, do you want answers or do you want freedom? Full freedom.
Both? I don't understand. What? I don't understand
I'm
why I have to
afraid
choose.
that it is not within my power to offer you both.
Oi, Reese, just drop it. Let's just get this poor fucker home.
Fair enough.
Who are you people?
We're with the Bureau.
We can't answer that exactly. Just know we're here to take you back to your daughter. All right?
Oh, okay.
So, why were you staring at the sky?
All right. This is going to sound this is going to sound a little nuts. Okay.
We need to know everything.
Believe us, we will take everything you say seriously. You will not be judged.
Well, you let's just wait and see.
Believe me, we've seen and heard crazy things.
The last thing that I remember, other than, I polished the lamp, and then I thought I was dreaming or something, because I could see this sort of thing in the distance, this sort of this shadow, and it was sort of making its way towards me slowly. It had it seemed like an animal of some kind, but it was huge, and it was creeping, moving closer and closer and closer, and I, I'm not a scaredy cat or anything. I don't.
No one's saying you are.
But I was, for some reason, I was filled with this fear. Something about this thing coming towards me. I felt my breath seize up in my chest, and I couldn't move. And then, well, your friend slapped me, and now here we are, I guess.
I'm going to put a reassuring hand on his shoulder. Thank you for telling. We are going to do everything we can, and we are a very competent people to get back home to your daughter, to your antique store. Please
Okay.
put your faith in us.
Okay. So, how do we get out of here?
That is what we still have to do. Now, I do have a couple more questions regarding shadowy. I know it might be a bit traumatic. If I may ask you to bring up those memories, it may aid us in getting you home.
Okay, I'll do what I can.
Do you recall what its rough body shape? Did it remind you of any animal in particular?
The way it was moving, it was low to the ground. It would kind of sway slightly. It seemed kind of, I don't know. It seemed kind of thin. It wasn't like a big, towering thing like a bear or something. But I don't know.
Or snake-like, or like reptile,
maybe
crocodile.
maybe a snake, I think, but it's certainly, a fucking order of magnitude bigger than any snake I've ever seen.
Did you happen to see its eyes?
No, it was like it's like this black sort of. It was like a streak of tar or something coming towards me. That I couldn't make out any, details or anything. And frankly, I was too scared to probably register any of them to begin with.
Would you mind accompanying me quickly to the back window? I just want to get your opinion.
Okay. And he sort of unsteadily gets up from the chair and sort of, is.
And if he looks unsteady, I'm going to kind of put my hand slightly around his shoulders just to help stabilize him.
Yeah, thank you.
My pleasure. I'm here to help. So, if you see
over
that,
there?
those woods in the back,
Uh-huh.
do you get any sort of similar sensation from them as you did from the creature you saw?
Yeah, there's something about there. What is going on here?
That is what we are trying to fully ascertain. We have some of the information, but you're helping us get along. So thank you for
You're cutting out a little bit, Ross.
Okay. Am I doing a bit better now?
Yes, it was just a voice thing. It was just kind of like
Okay, I was going too soft. I was going too
Yeah.
soft. We have most of the information, but we're trying to get a bit more. And your information here is helping us. So thank you for your assistance.
just whatever I can do to get back to the shop and Aretha and
For now, can I ask you to look after Harry here? He's a little bit
Oh,
traumatized himself.
Jesus, I didn't even notice you. Are you? Oh, okay. And he sort of gingerly sits next to the kind of rough-looking Harry and sort of, hey, oh, yeah. Okay. I'll watch him. I guess.
Appreciate it. Just call out if you need anything. We are going to be doing exploration outside of this cabana here.
Can't you just call someone
Hey,
or
Daniel.
like get a car? Or...
Daniel,
Yeah.
do me a favor. Say out loud, I wish to go home now, please.
Okay.
Are you gonna like click your toes together?
I wish to go home now, please.
Colin just looks up and around.
Daniel
got
kind
some
of
red
like
shoes.
follows you, looking at the ceiling, like.
Oh, it's worth a try.
Unfortunately, Daniel,
Okay.
we are a little bit out of range of any sort of telecommunications, other than local small bandwidth such as radios and of that sort. If you'd like, I can leave one of our radios with you so you can stay in
Yeah.
easy
Yes.
contact
Please.
with us
Please.
should anything
Please.
occur.
Please do that. Please. Please.
I will hand him my remaining two-way radio.
Thank
Plum
you.
has the other one, I believe, still. So this is Agent Plum. He has the other radio.
Okay. Hello.
Hello.
So I just gotta, radio in or whatever if I need this, if something goes wrong or I need to talk to you guys or something.
Hey,
Okay. What about him?
Well, if anything happens with Harry here, then feel free to let us know.
Okay.
At the moment, I think he just needs some comfort. He wandered out of the woods not long after. A bit traumatized by the experience.
You see Daniel kind of look back over at Harry and then sort of put up a tentative hand and then just sort of like pat him on the shoulder a few times and kind of give you a look like, okay.
Thank you, Daniel. Hopefully, all goes well.
Where exactly are you going?
Well, my team and I, we need to go out and discuss our next. So we'll be right outside.
Oh.
For the moment, we'll let you know if we're going anywhere farther.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to kind of gesture to everybody, unless you have any more questions, then just kind of look around at all of the team member sections.
I'm gonna step outside a while.
Ada's been out on the little, I don't know if the shack has like a porch or something.
Yeah, the little porch kind of step up thing. Yeah.
Yeah, she's been kind of seated on that, feet on the sand, just kind of like doing breathing exercises, trying not to freak out by this whole experience, as well as trying to recover some of her energies.
Well, Cullen, as you walk out, you see her doing her breathing exercises out on the sort of porch-like area.
I'll join her, I guess. Try to do breathing exercises.
Okay, so Reese and Plum, are you guys heading outside as well?
Yeah.
That's my plan.
Okay, so the lot of you are now outside the shack, just outside, or kind of conglomerated around this porch area here. And you're relatively, I mean, if you speak at a relatively normal volume, not a lot of it is going to carry into the shack. So you have a reasonable assumption of, kind of privacy, right?
Are you two doing okay? I'm noticing a slight anomaly in your breathing patterns.
No, Reese.
Sorry, Ada. Please go.
Just that, just now.
May I place a comforting hand upon your shoulder?
There's a time and place for that, Reese. That is not right now.
I don't want to worry you too much, but we may have to go into those woods.
If we're going to do that, we're going to need a plan, because we're going to need to do whatever it is we're going to do real fast.
Though we should see how these suits work in the woods.
There is also a part of me that wonders if the effect is aging, what effect it might have on me, since I am not biological.
Nor do you have any.
Even machines break.
This is true.
Well, should we give it a shot?
I don't know what we're going to find out there.
Yeah, what other choice do we have, though? Unless we feel like going for a swim.
Pistols it on, boyos. As
So,
Cullen takes out his pistol from his holster.
suddenly, you hear some slight commotion from inside, and you see Harry stumbling out of the shack towards you. He grabs the nearest person. I assume that's probably either Reese or Plum. Let's say Plum. But Plum, he grabs you by the shoulders, by the arms, right, the forearms, and you see him sort of vigorously shaking his head. No, you can't go. You can't go in there. You can't go back. You can't go in there.
You won't be going.
No, you
You
don't.
don't have to worry about that.
He's gonna grabbing you by the lapels now. No, you don't understand. You can't go in there. It's dangerous.
What
I
happened
know.
to you in there, Harry?
Okay.
You've been skirting around the issue the whole damn time. Now, what happened to you in there?
Okay. I'm a little more together now. And I remember what happened out there. I'm foraging around in there, I've got the spear. I'm looking for food. I'm trying to find a way out, and I hear this sound like steam escaping. It's this rumbling noise, this a groove being dug, leaves breaking, crushing, twigs snapping, and I turn with the spear out, and I almost stumble backwards into the mud, and I see this thing, this smooth head, and these beady eyes, and this row of and I heard it. It spoke to me. It said, it said I am. Fuck. What did he say? I am the one who whines, and I control you. And he started this thing. It started to bear down on me, and I I ran. I bolted. I pushed through leaves and trees. There was insects and animals just screaming and moving, and I was just, my heart was pounding. That thing, that thing is out there, and it's monstrous, and it's. You're not gonna make it.
Hey, Ada,
Yeah?
you got any way of detecting if there's anything going on with his energies? Seeing if something's not supposed to be there that's there?
I'm gonna give him a look. I guess make a detection roll?
So what are your magical abilities?
I've got commune, detection, and induce.
Yeah, detection would be it, of course.
Right. 15.
Okay. With a 15, you give Harry a pretty good look, and you're again channeling your sort of para-utilitarian senses, and you're sort of pushing beyond the sort of the regular sensory experience. And you notice that there is some kind of faint, sort of pinkish aura about Harry, which in your experience indicates that there's some kind of para-natural, para-utilitarian kind of funkiness going on about an object or a person. Now the aura itself is pretty light and fairly weak looking, so it looks like it's almost like a trace element rather than some kind of ongoing thing, but it's there nonetheless.
More lingering energies.
Right, some kind of something left over.
I'm gonna give Cullen a look as well. See if there's a similar remnant.
Cullen does not appear to have any kind of remnant about him.
That's comforting. I turn to look at Reese. I think he's telling the truth. Something out there is gunning for him. And I think if we head out
Now,
there,
what
we're
I'm
going to have the same problem.
Now, what really concerns me, though, is that line about it controlling it. That's one of the reasons I asked you to check.
No.
So he seems like himself.
As far as I know, yeah, that's Harry.
What about Daniel?
Give me a moment. I'll step inside.
Okay, you see Daniel kind of awkwardly sitting, and he's sort of like, he's kind of adjusting himself. It's clear that he was kind of thrown aside slightly by Harry's outburst, and he's just, sorry. He freaked out when I told him you guys are going into the woods, and he.
That's all right. We weren't expecting you to be bodyguard or caretaker in that sense, simply to keep an eye on him.
Well, that's good, because I was on the, I did chess club, so I didn't do any sports or anything, so I'm not good.
Not prepped for that kind of work. I understand.
Not really, I hate to conform to the notion of an antique salesman, but what are you gonna do?
I understand you there. Yeah.
Yeah. Is he okay? Is everything all right?
I think so. We need to get out of here first. He looks like he's seen a bit of wear and tear here. Hopefully that can all be undone.
Huh. Yeah.
Are you a spiritual man, Mr. Hammock?
Uh, I wouldn't. I wouldn't say so. No. It's not that I don't believe exactly, but you know, uh, my, when I was a kid, my parents, we went, we were, well, they were Protestant, right? We went to church and everything, but I don't know. I fell off, when I was a teenager, and I just, I never really got around to coming back to it. So I'm not really religious per se. Why?
I've had experiences in my life that have kind of opened me up to, in the same way you get that kind of gut feeling about someone, that's, for me, has kind of become much more honed, much stronger. I always like to ask. Some people do better if you can kind of guide them down some of those paths.
Are you like Mormon or something?
No. Something far more different from that. I'm sure once we get out of here, I can go into quite a bit more detail. But for now, know that I'm simply going to take a moment to just say a quick little prayer, if you would, away from everybody else.
Oh,
And
okay.
I use that as a cover to kind of focus and then look at him and try to determine, is there anything to see?
Okay, give me another check, please.
Ooh, 20. Not natural.
20. Okay. So you see the same pinkish sort of aura about Daniel as well, although it is very faint, considerably fainter than it was around Harry. It's barely registering. It's like someone sort of taking their camera flash and just pointing it directly at you, and then you closing your eyes, and it's sort of like the very barest of the after flash before it kind of completely disappears. Right? It's just that kind of just barely visible sort of aura.
All right. I just needed a moment. We're still trying to figure things out. We'll let you know when we're ready to move on, but as it sounds right now, I think our companion Harry there probably has the right idea about staying out of the forest.
Okay. I mean, I wasn't gonna say otherwise, but
We'll let you know when we start to move on, find somewhere else to investigate.
okay.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah,
Walk outside.
yeah.
Shoot an eye at Reese.
Harry is still, shaken, traumatized. He's still sort of looking around himself and the rest of the group kind of cautiously. He has loosened his grip on you, Plum. He's not quite as
Fervent.
yes. His fervency, his Charlton Heston like intensity has drained from him, and now he just looks a little scared.
What other leads do we have?
Like I said, anybody up for a swim? I can always just travel down the beach as well. So if we do that, we should probably bring everybody along.
Yeah, splitting up seems to not be a great idea.
Agreed.
You can always try waiting a little while, but I don't want to stay here too long.
Yeah, the longer we
Yeah.
stay here, the more I worry we're going to run into more of those vortexes.
I mean, if you all watch these two, I can go check the water real quick.
Sure.
Oi.
And I'm going to try to gesture pointedly at my chest, trying to imply I do not have lungs. This will not be an issue for
Okay.
me.
Well,
Your circuits get wet.
I hope the rest of you get the hint, because otherwise it just
I
looks. Look at my breasts.
Terminator walk into the water.
Da-na-na-na. Yeah. He's slowly drifting into the. Oh, it's good.
I'll be
Okay.
back.
Okay. So Reese, what are you
Those
going
movies
to
aren't
do?
even close to being made yet in this timeline.
Or maybe they already have.
Oh.
Yeah. So Reese, what are you going to do then?
I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go put my feet in the water for a bit, and kind of walk away under that guise. And I'm going to put the helmet of the suit back on, and I'm just going to try to walk straight into the water.
Okay. So the
For the record, my firearms are still in the house. I kind of set them on a table there and left them. I do not want those getting
Sure. Yeah.
wet.
Okay, you fasten the helmet back onto the suit and you begin sort of wading into the water. Luckily, the water this entire time has been sort of a gentle sort of cresting and falling and waving. It's a pretty gentle kind of motion of the ocean, if you will. And as you're pushing your way through, I mean, you get the sort of normal resistance, but otherwise it's a little cold, but otherwise it seems pretty normal.
I'm gonna let myself go all the way in until my head is fully under,
Okay.
and just see. I'm just gonna see if I encounter like any resistance or anything of that nature.
So you continue to make your way down. You eventually get submerged all the way up. You see through kind of the visor, the sort of the plastic glass hybrid kind of screen on the hazmat suit is not the best sort of visual filter in the world. So it looks a little muddy, but you're able to see sort of like the occasional fish swim by. You can see some like some small bits of coral and some other kind of pebbles and that sort of thing. Completely normal kind of beach floor stuff. And as far as you can tell, you're pushing your arms out, moving your legs around. There doesn't seem to be any kind of resistance except that of the ocean itself.
Do the fish have an advanced AI that calls them to swim away from me when I get close?
No.
Roll for.
No, that's the birds.
I'm gonna need you to make a computers check.
With that, all right. So I have proficiency too. That's a 14.
Okay, a 14. If this is a artificial, if this is an algorithm that's running these fish to move about and behave in a fish-like fashion, it's so sufficiently advanced that it seems completely natural to you.
Oh man, the Call of Duty developers would be so proud. And
Is
with
that why our call was so
I
bad?
will.
There it is.
And then with that, I will turn around and make my way back to the pagoda.
Okay. So, So you emerge from the surf like Ursula Andress in Doctor No. You're considerably more clothed than she is, but and you can see your teammates along with Harry still there on the beachfront.
I'm gonna take off my helmet. Just go. Damn, that was refreshing, but I don't think that's our way out.
Gather everybody up and just walk down the beach until we find something.
It looks like the beach stretches onwards infinitely. Do you want to tie a rope to my waist? Tie some of that duct tape to my waist, and I'll check out the woods again.
If you want to
Does
give
Harry
it
have a
shot,
reaction to him saying that?
Harry's a little like clearly agitated by that. He's kind of giving him like, no.
you want to give it a shot, but
I've got the suit
no
on.
more than half a minute in there.
Just to see how things are.
I mean, we could. I know this is a weird suggestion, but the thing seems sentient. We could always try to taunt it.
Well, it hasn't crossed the woods
Try to
yet.
get it to come out of the woods at us.
I've thought it would have chased Harry out if it would have done that.
If I was looking
Well, I
for a
mean,
meal, yeah.
Harry has nowhere to go. Harry has nowhere to go here except back into the woods. Why would it chase him?
Cullen would like to climb on top of the beach house, or the shack.
Okay. You have a sufficient amount of time, and it's like there's occasional like jutting bits of wood and thatch and what have you. So you can get on top. It's a little unsteady. You realize that if you take too many steps up here, you might end up actually going through the ceiling. But other than that, yeah, you're up on top.
I'd like to look out and see if there's any clearing somewhere in the woods or in the jungle.
So you're kind of sweeping around, taking a look. I mean, it looks pretty thick as far as you can see. Now, the height of the shack isn't enough to get you above the tree line, but as far as you can tell, like this, it looks pretty thick. No matter where you're looking at.
It's not like it's cresting or anything. It's just like a flat land. Like there's a mountain or.
Well, yeah. Again, the sort of the height there isn't enough to get kind of even an angled or a top-down view of this place. But as far as you can tell, it's just it's just trees and foliage as far as you can see. There doesn't appear to be any kind of significant hills or mountains or anything like that. It doesn't appear to
And
any of that
while I'm up
topography.
there, do I see like any notion that the beach curves or just going straight out eternally?
Yeah, strangely enough, as you look to the extreme left and right, it looks like the beach just goes on forever in a straight direction, that way and that way.
I will get down and report my findings.
I'm gonna have to climb a goddamn tree, aren't I?
You're gonna have to climb a goddamn tree.
I mean, unless any of you is more athletic than me.
I can
I have
try.
a +3 to athletics.
I can blow things up, but don't ask me to climb a tree.
So it looks like Plum also has a +3, or maybe he just has a 3. I don't know. Yeah,
Plus
That does not clarify.
Oh, +3. Okay.
So, Plum, you're going up this tree, or am I? I mean, you don't look very good right now. I mean, no offense, but you're not looking too hot.
There's sand.
You're looking like a 6 out of 20 something.
So. Well, there's sand.
I mean, do you think we have time to, just chill for half an hour, kind of regain some of our composure?
I think
want to
that might be a
spend a
good
night
idea.
here, but
Just an hour. I need to spend the whole night.
I'd rather not be here that long, but if we're out of options,
I mean, it looks like we're gonna have to go into you know where at some point. If we want to do that, we might probably want to do it at least better strength than we are now.
At this point in time, Cullen would like to yell up at the sky, "Can you offer me us a way home?"
Nope, nothing.
Nah, what the shot?
is the beach like dotted with these shacks as it goes?
It seems like periodically, yes. Now, I say periodically, that implies a kind of like evenness, but that's not the case. It's just that, every now and then you can see one of these kind of, shacks, kind of like they've been, like you're at a resort and they've made a couple of these and it's dotted, along the sort of the beach line.
We should at least check out a couple more of these shacks.
All right, we
Nice,
want to
man.
go toward. We want to go past the storm again, or we want to get farther away from that.
Let's go farther away from it for now.
Is the storm
We can
cyclone
always-
still there?
Storm cyclone is still going.
Huh.
Suppose that's kind of the last place we can look before going into the jungle again.
Hey.
Well, last time we went in there, we were attacked by those things.
And now they're gone.
the ones that
But
spawned
the storm.
were gone.
Yeah, the storm's not gone though. Who knows? Who knows if it won't spawn more?
Only one way to find out. Look,
I
let's.
mean, I'm
let's
definitely
check
up
the
for
next
checking a couple of the other houses.
Yeah, let's
Wait,
check a couple of those first.
Do we,
Daniel, come on out here. We're gonna be moving a little bit.
You see Daniel come to the sort of the doorway, kind of push the bead curtains out of the way. Where are we going?
Gotta
Just
check
the
out a
other
couple of your
shacks.
houses.
Okay. Are we all coming or?
Hey?
Preferably.
Okay.
Splitting up does not seem like a good idea.
No, that makes sense.
Do you need a walking stick? That
No.
like have the spear.
No, I'm okay. I'm okay. Very quickly, you see Harry like try to snatch the spear away from you, Plum. And if you don't resist, he takes it and clutches it to his breast.
Guess I'll let him have it. How I feel about letting him have it.
Well, just don't walk in front of him.
Yeah.
I'm
Harry's
gonna
up
go
first.
collect. I'm gonna go collect my firearms from inside before
Sure.
we move.
And they're gone.
Ooh, yeah.
It's all a big mystery.
Okay, so the lot of you are making your way down the beach away from the storms to go to the next sort of, kind of relaxation shack, if you will. So you push
Yo,
your
Harry,
way.
did you ever check out any of these other houses?
No, I've been inside the forest most of the time. I only came out on this side when I found you guys.
All right. Well, let's just stay close, and you stay in front of us all for now. Don't want you accidentally stabbing anybody in the back.
Okay. So you trudge your way down the white beach, and eventually come up again on another one of these shacks. It is functionally identical to the one you were just at. There's some slight variations in that it's clear that, I mean, these things obviously aren't mass produced. You know, they have to be, you know, individually built, right? So there's some little discrepancies, but otherwise it seems like the layout is the same.
The
Does it have any
ashtray with the
items?
cigarette.
Oh, the inside is maybe not the same. I'm talking about the exterior looks about the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You get the same kind of porch and the same kind of, like, you know, tiki shack kind of vibe and all that jazz.
Push past the bead curtain, see what it looks like on the inside.
Clickety clack, the bead curtains move back, and you are now inside the shack. Hold on, let me think of another rhyming word. You are
We ain't never gonna come back.
taken aback by the sight of
A hat rack.
Attack.
An 8-track.
an 8-track machine. Fuck.
A damsel with a heart of black.
By a man's crack.
Clapping at my chamber door.
Colonel.
dummy thick, as they
And
say.
nothing more.
Yeah.
Maybe perhaps a burlap sack.
You could only hope for one that it would cover the crack, but so inside
Crack.
you see that the setup is it's still sort of like one large room, right? But the furniture and the general kind of layout is different. Inside you see roughly in the center of this room what looks like a kind of a vaguely ovular a dining room table. You see a couple of sort of, you know, kind of wicker-backed chairs surrounding it. There appears to be the remains of what looks like a decent-sized dinner left out on the table itself, on plates. You know, you can see silverware and that sort of thing. There doesn't appear to be any food still kind of setting out, but you can see sort of the residue on, you know, the plates and the mostly empty glasses and stuff, indicating that there was some kind of meal here relatively recently. You can see off to the side, to the left of that, against the wall, is what looks like a kind of like a faux chimney, a faux sort of fireplace chimney kind of
Earth.
construction. It's got kind of like a less in the form of like, you know, cobblestones or bricks or whatever, and more like a kind of an Adobe style sort of construction. And inside the sort of, you know, the fire pit section is what looks like a pretty big, like, you'd swear it looks like one of those, like, they call those censures, those things that the Catholic priests
carry around and swing.
yeah, it looks like one of those, but it's got a kind of like a dark gray green kind of quality to it, and it's huge. Like, it's a big, you know, it basically looks like a censer had been blown up to accommodate for making like hot pot or fondue or something. It's that kind of, you know, size, and it is resting in what looks like some very cold coals. Well, it's hanging over a small hook over some very cold coals at the moment.
Let's investigate that thing.
Okay. Well, how do you want to investigate it? You want to start by taste or
Start with smell.
Okay.
I think smell first.
Start with smell. Okay. There is a kind of a you can smell sort of, you know, the kind of distinct odor of coal having been burned. You get a kind of there's a kind of a curry-like sort of scent to it in the air, some spices and everything, that's sort of hot kind of, there's some peanut vibe and everything like that. That's the kind of, it's very faint, but that's the vibe that you're getting, some kind of like vaguely Middle Eastern sort of curry-like medley of smells.
A fan of curry, Cullen?
Just a wee bit. I'm gonna come over and investigate the coals as well. I would like to take a look at the censer itself,
Mm-hmm.
see if there's anything in it.
Okay, you see this thing now that you get up close to it. Um, it's clearly it's not exactly a censure, right? It's just it's got that kind of formalized quality to it, right? It's got those kind of small structural kind of flourishes or whatever that make it kind of look like that. But it's clear this thing is some kind of like cooking pot or something. And now that you're closer, it looks like wrought iron. And inside you can see the dregs of what look like some kind of, curry-like meat stew paste kind of thing, just sort of coating the very bottom of the pot.
Alright.
Do you think somebody made this, or do you think this has always been here?
Hard to tell. Doesn't smell rotten. Does it smell rotten?
It doesn't seem to smell rotten. It just, again, you're getting those still pleasant kind of curryish smells, but the food and the pot itself seem cold now.
It's not like it's dry and crusted where it's in there for days.
No, it seems to just be sort of resting there on the bottom as if, basically everybody's had their fill and this is what's left, right?
This was eaten basically like 3 hours ago.
Maybe. Relatively recently.
Yeah.
And there was a cigarette. Smelled kind of fruity in the other shack.
That's right.
So that's the weird part for me. It seems like a lot of things have happened recently, but there's no other sign of those people.
I would like to exit out of the hut, and I would like to look at the sand for any sort of tracks. Not ours.
Okay. So you make your way outside. Give me an investigation check, please.
Hell yeah, +5.
Nice.
19.
Okay, so you not literally comb the beach. We ain't found shit. You take a you comb the beach. You take a look at trying to you isolate obviously the traffic patterns that were coming from the other direction. You say, okay, that was us. You take a look inside across the beach farther along the same direction. You look sort of as it hooking around the shack itself. Doesn't appear to be any footsteps. At least anything that looks clearly like some kind of tracks.
There don't appear to be any tracks.
Well, 3 is a pattern. So let's check one more hut, and if it's got the same situation, I think we can assume the rest are going to be exactly the same.
I'd agree.
So, Jason, are the
Yes.
are the shacks, are they elevated slightly off the sand? Like,
Yeah.
would we be able to get or see under them?
You'd have to be like Lara Flynn Boyle level thin to sneak under there. But there is some slight elevation.
I would like to take a flashlight and just kind of shine it underneath, see what I see.
Okay. So you kind of get down, along the sand line, take your flashlight, and look underneath, and you can see sort of writhing under there is this huge mass of blackish snakes. And we're talking about like just
Like that one video.
there's like a swamp under this under this shack,
Crawl
and it's
space.
made entirely of snakes. Like they're all sort of moving around each other and crawling over each other and things.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
You
was a
know
guy
I hate
who-
snakes, Jacques.
There was a guy who lifted his like pole barn, and under it was just like 30 or 50 snakes just having a tussle in time.
Yeah, it's called an orgy, Lance.
Same image, basically.
Daniel, Harry, stay back. The rest of yous, you might want to take a look at this.
All right. Gonna get down low.
You see the same disgusting, writhing mass of snakes. And we're talking
You want to start a fire?
what looks like hundreds of snakes.
We need Saint Patrick here. Holy shit.
I'm going to lower my voice a bit to try to make it so only they can hear. How much you want to bet these are onto every single one of these goddamn houses?
Burn them all?
Wouldn't take that back.
$20. I'm gonna take out my pistol and just shoot one.
Hold on a second. Let me just...
I'm going to back the fuck away.
Hold on. So we're an
torch ready first.
We're an hour and 6 minutes into the recording. This is our 5th session, and that's how long it took for one of you to suggest just full-blown arson. I just want to mark that as put a pin in that.
Arson in
I
the
would
dream
like to
world,
note
you know.
that I'm not the one who mentioned it.
And you're not.
either.
That's I know. If I had Vegas odds, it would have been on you. Yeah.
Sounds like the house would have won again.
I mean, this isn't reality, you know. It doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, sure. You know.
There are no laws in this land.
Real life, or is
Oh,
this
no.
See
just
what kind of cop
fantasy?
Plum really is.
So Cullen, you get your gun out and you just kind of fire a shot into this sort of writhing mass. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
And as soon as I see him taking the pistol out, I am backing away
Okay.
as fast as I possibly can.
Plum and Ada, what are you guys doing? Are you staying there or?
Yeah. Nope.
Staying steady.
He's
Okay.
attacking the darkness.
So Ada, you're staying, but Plum and Reese are
back.
backing up. Okay.
At least you didn't cast magic missile into the darkness.
So you discharge your firearm, Cullen, you know, you fire. It strikes some kind of part of this mass, basically. You see what looks like a slight, like, spray of chunk of flesh or something like that. But other than that, like, it doesn't appear to have any effect other than this immediate one. You see like a small hole form, basically. It's like chucking a pebble at a mold of jello, you know, like, there you go.
I'm gonna get up and be like, so it's flesh, but they don't really react to it.
That might be a good thing.
Yeah, it seems like if you did kill one of them, the other 1,000 snakes don't give a shit.
Well, they are reptiles.
What's that supposed to
Cold-blooded
mean?
Yeah.
What's that? That's
Also, they found in most reptiles there is the lack of ability to form attachment
that
to
is
other creatures.
literally racist, is what you're saying. So
Lack of mirror
it's-
neurons?
So
Just
is
saying.
that why Zuckerberg's all like non-empathetic?
Oh.
He is pair bonded.
Ada's just gonna stand up and turn around and look at Plum and Reese. We got to do something with this.
Are we poking the hive?
We already
we
poked.
the hive.
Yeah, it
Well,
didn't.
we
Hey,
know.
we shot it already.
We know.
Are we
that
gonna
there's
ransack?
one. We know that there's one very big snake, purportedly, in the forest. We want it to not be in the forest because that's
Are we
its home
smoking
turf.
it out?
That's a.
I mean,
the
if
order.
these are its babies, might get a little pissed if we drop a burning house on them.
All right. At this point in
Smoking
time,
it out.
Cullen will pull out his widget bag. Jason,
Mm-hmm.
what do I need to make a grenade?
Okay.
In particular, an incendiary grenade, one that would catch things on fire and not just be shrimp.
Preferably.
Preferably. Like, a very rough Molotov cocktail, we'll say.
Just get some oil from some fruit or animal, some wood.
Okay, let's see here. Are you sure you don't want nerve toxin?
Positive.
Okay, just thought I'd check.
And there was some coconuts or something.
Yeah, you definitely don't want a diet of coconut.
Okay. So what you are going to need is something flammable, obviously, some kind of like, liquid or viscous medium, right? Oil, something to that effect. You will need
Accelerant.
some kind of accelerant, yeah. Some kind of, access to flame, fire, spark, right?
I have a lighter.
And you need some kind of to kind of,
Contain it.
contain this thing, at least until
That's
it no longer gets contained.
So how much of this would I have in my widget bag? Because my widget bag lets me store parts.
I am taking a look at the widget bag. Hold on. Let's see.
It might have accelerant.
Hmm.
All you need is accelerant. Find other
I'm
stuff.
thinking the only thing I might not have is the accelerant.
Like turpentine or paint thinner.
Well, it says you've got all that stuff worth $200, and as far as I know, turpentine is not super expensive. So you've got inside, you've got at least so right now you've got at least one kind of sort of those brown kind of beer style bottles. With the label that's been kind of frayed off. You have what looks like a kind of a relatively small carton of turpentine, right? You've got some assorted sort of paint rags, and you've of course got your lighter. So you could very easily construct a kind of makeshift Molotov.
I don't think that's makeshift. I think that is one. Let's make one.
Well, they're all makeshift when you think about them, really.
That's fair.
Yeah, by the definition of a Molotov cocktail, yeah.
It's a makeshift firebomb.
Okay, so if you are able to do that, let's see, but then you would need to make some kind of skill check.
An engineering check or a demolition
Yes.
check?
Well, no, demolitions I think would be more appropriate here.
+7.
Okay, so make that check.
All right, let me 1 second just to make sure I don't have any others.
It's almost like
no,
this
that's only
character
with
was
the
made to
tackles.
do shit like this.
It was.
All
right. That is an 18.
An 18. Okay, so you are able to make out of the equipment that you have in your bag, right? 3 of these things.
Nice.
And these.
And what is the damage roll on those?
I'm going to tell you. Let's see here. Got to move up to the ammo section. Grenade.
It's like about
Grenada.
fireball. Maybe 3d6.
Well, they're actual grenade stats, so that's what I'm looking at.
Nice.
Let's see here. Come on. Okay, so we've got booster, EMP, flashbang, yada yada yada. So it looks like we're doing 1d6 damage, fire damage specifically. And we've got
I think
a...
it does like blast.
It's got the EXP property, a 5-foot area of effect.
It hits like 9 tiles or whatever.
And it is sympathetic, which means it can be detonated if caught in the radius of another explosion.
Nice.
It's just important to know that.
So yeah, the 3 can stack together. You just need to light one.
Oh, that's.
Or we go
that-
up to 3 health.
Well, we might have to burn more than one of these though to really piss the thing off enough to get them out of the woods. So I would probably save them since we only have 3.
Yeah, I'd at least use 2, keep 1.
Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. So I'm gonna turn after I make these things. I'm gonna turn to everybody else and go and say, "Move the fuck away from the shack."
I'm just gonna kind of gesture at Harry and Daniel and just kind of herd them back towards the water. You know, just in case, guys, just in case.
So you look back and you go to sort of move the 2 of them, and you see Harry, but you don't see Daniel.
Damn it, Daniel.
Harry,
Damn it, Daniel!
rocking the white vans again.
Damn, Daniel.
Harry, where the fuck did he go?
Oh, you're talking to Harry. Sorry. Yeah. So he points towards the shack.
Oh.
He went inside. Is what you're saying?
Go in. Door
Yeah.
busting.
Let's go in.
Gun
Let's
out.
go in.
I'm raising both guns up. I have both of those fully prepared, and I will follow the group into the shack.
So do you enter stealthily or do you storm the place? Like that's...
I'd kick down the door, but they're beads.
There's no door. There's only beads. You could kick the
kick
beads.
in the beads.
We rip the beads down.
So you rush towards the
It's a
shack.
no knock.
You yank some of the beads out of the way. They clatter onto the patio, the
fuck outta
porch.
here.
Sorry, the porch. And you make your way inside, and there is a very startled Daniel Hamacher. He's got what looks like a decently sized hardback book open. It sort of flaps against his chest as he spins around in surprise and fear, and he knocks himself, like he knocks the back of his head against a part of the bookshelf that he's in front of.
Love this, man.
Jesus. Fucking hell. Okay.
Oh, we thought something happened to you.
No, I saw there's some really neat stuff in here. I just thought you guys were talking and it seemed like everything was okay in here, so I thought I'd just, pop in and take a look.
Well,
And
that's
you
fine.
didn't
Grab
hear
the
the
book and get
gunshot
out.
that
I'm
he threw
setting this
off?
on fire.
What gunshot? What fire? Whose fire?
I'm setting this place on fire. Get the fuck out.
Well, don't do it with me in it.
That's what I'm waiting for you to get out.
Come on, Daniel. Let's go. Let's go, Daniel. Let's go.
You see him sort of like close up the book and sort of pocket it under his arm, and all right, fine.
Did
Wait,
you
wait.
bring the book, or did the book come from in here?
I found it on the shelf there.
Pull it out. I want to see it.
Okay? Now, please be very delicate with it, okay? This is one of the first printings of the Quran from one of the relatively remote areas of Saudi Arabia. I mean, this shouldn't be here. This is incredible.
I'm going to tuck the gun under my arm. I'm going to gently take it, and I'm going to immediately hand it to Ada and say, "Would you mind taking a look at this?"
I'll grab it. Clear a spot on the table, set it down, and just kind of like fingers meshed together, sit down and kind of look at it for a bit to try to see beyond.
Okay.
21.
Okay. It appears that this book, though old but still in great condition, it's a beautiful antique find, is perfectly mundane.
He's right. It's an original. Makes me wonder what else is on that shelf.
Do you flip through it, or are you just kind of staring at the one page?
Yeah, I'll flip through first couple of pages.
So as you're flipping through, you can see that, sure enough, it's written in the traditional Arabic. The pages are very old, but they're still in good condition. You have to be kind of delicate with it. And it appears to be, at least from what you can tell, the Quran, the Muslim holy book, right? But there have been several pieces of the book, parts of the pages, that seem to have been ripped out. And these are not like whole pages, but instead sort of like sections, small passages almost, like verses that have been snatched out, like hand by hand.
Like someone might do to like a newspaper.
That's a kind of a, it's like somebody was tearing off a headline of a newspaper off, right, and then leaving the rest of the article intact, right? But only this is periodically throughout the book you're seeing sections of the pages have been ripped out.
Daniel, can you tell what was missing?
So he kind of moves over there, moves over, kind of looking over your shoulder, Ada. Oh, no. Oh, God. I'm sorry. This... God, what a waste.
Have you been looking for this for a while?
No, I didn't think there were any, left making their way, especially around the United States. It would have been an incredible thing to have at the store, but no, not in this condition. It looks like, it looks like certain verses have been torn out. I don't understand why. I don't speak, I can't read Arabic myself, so I don't, I'm not exactly sure what these things are, but they may be bits of history, they may be prayers, or just verses or something that are being torn. I don't know.
A lot of stuff about snakes in the Quran.
Not any more than the Bible, I would say.
Well, I guess we're about to go fight the devil.
Am I still setting this place on fire or not?
I'm going to take a quick moment and try to remember, when I first walked in here, was there a bookshelf?
Yeah, I don't remember you describing a bookshelf.
Okay.
I didn't, but that's because those two, the dining room table and were sort of the main kind of focuses of the room. There were some assorted furniture in there.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
But it was there to begin with, yes.
New. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
That was the worry I had at the moment.
Yeah, if it wasn't, that'd be like the...
I'm going to do a quick scan of some other books. Just pull like 3 of them off the shelf, flip them open as well, see if they're missing pieces.
Yeah.
There are other books.
You see, as you're sort of pulling occasional volumes from the shelf, and you're opening them up, it's difficult to. I mean, It looks like these are all written in Arabic. You're talking about like, these are kind of at least old, um, at least a century old, books we're talking about. Like, and they are, reasonably ornate. They're clearly sort of display copies. They're not meant for sort of day to day use. They're more like premium copies of like a first edition of Moby Dick or something like that. It's clearly well wrought and everything. The covers and the text are all in Arabic script. And as you're leafing through them, yeah, sure enough, there are pieces again in that same general size, like a couple of lines or so, that are just missing in all of these books. As you open the third book that you've sort of pulled out, you take a look, 1, 2, 3. There is what looks like something falls out of the back of the book between the very last page and the back cover. It sort of plops to the ground in front of you, and you can see what looks like a small black pouch made out of some kind of fabric, about about yay big, through which has been threaded some kind of black string.
Gonna check the glove of the suit, make sure that's still functional, and then pick it up.
Okay, it's very light. It's clear, like it's not much more than just sort of fabric and string. As you're taking a look at it, you see that there appears to be this piece of black fabric about yay big. Looks like a pouch, actually. It's a very small little pouch, maybe about the size where it could hold a certain amount of like small coins or something, but that's about the size that you're working with.
Gonna pinch it open, see if there's anything in there.
There appears to be some kind of folded up piece of paper inside.
All right, stick the other hand in, grab it, and pull it out.
You see it's a yellowed piece of paper. It's clearly been, again, because of the marks, torn out of one of these books, or at least torn from a book, we'll say. Sure enough, there are lines in the flowing script, right? You can see on it, and that's it.
Arabic?
Still Arabic, yeah. Mm-hmm. Still
Okay.
in that same flowing script. It looks like, given the age of the paper and the calligraphy and everything like that, that it would probably match one of these books on the shelf. It's reasonable to assume that.
So it, like the edges of it look like it's been cut out of something?
Like it's been torn out, yeah.
Okay. Found a page. Daniel, you specialize in antiques. Do you also do restoration as well?
Only so far as, to make it look good to sell. I mean, I don't do, there are people, 10 times more talented than I am working at the Met or something, making the paintings look better than they have in centuries, but that's not the kind of work that I do.
Just wanted to ask. It seems like we've got a free floating page which might belong somewhere. Gonna give it a quick comparison to the Quran. See if it looks like it's a good fit.
Okay, you take a look as you're sort of flipping through the copy of the Quran that you have, at least that's what Daniel identified it as. You're flipping through the pages. Well, you've got the piece of paper out. Yeah, you find a page where it clearly looks like this fits in pretty seamlessly.
Gonna nestle it in place and close the book on it, I guess.
Okay. The book is closed.
Well, if we want to spend the next probably a couple of years here, we could probably restore this. But I say we take it with us and, well, we either torch this place to get at the snakes down below, or we keep going through books.
Do we want to torch this place and move on to the next?
If we torch it, yeah, I'd say we need to at least see if the next one we go to seems familiar.
Well, we might be carrying a lot of stuff then.
Reese, you notice that Daniel is being very quiet. He's sort of like turned away from the rest of you and is looking back at the bookshelf again. And he's got kind of a pensive look on his face.
What do you see there, Daniel?
I think. Can I see the? What was your name, Miss? What?
Miss Ada.
Ada. Can you open the book again? Can I see that piece, the little piece of paper?
Open it back up. Show it to him.
Okay. I don't know if this is gonna help, but I was looking at these books and I'm thinking, you know, things start flooding back to me about, like, you know, all the times that I've been to, you know, private sales or flea markets and that kind of thing, looking at these sort of books just kind of floating out there, trying to find the little treasures, right? And I remember there was a meeting, must have been about 2 years ago or so. I can barely remember it now, but well, things were pretty rough back then. My wife had just left me. We'd been through a divorce. I mean, and I was trying to figure out what to do with my life, and I went to this. There was this little kind of some kind of spiritual sort of convention type of thing. Like, it was this little thing that was held at I think it was St. Boniface, and they just had, you know, a bunch of the different, like they had rabbis there, they had priests there, you know, people from all kinds of like spiritual walks of life, and it was supposed to be this sort of community thing where people were sharing, like, you know, their thoughts and their feelings and stories from their traditions and that sort of thing, right? It was supposed to be this sense of, you know, community and bread breaking and that sort of thing. And I went to it. I don't know why, but I felt like maybe if I went there, you know, something would say something to me, you know, like something would call out to me and say, Daniel, this is what you're supposed to be doing with your life, you know, or at least, you know, maybe one of the old rabbis would have some kind of great advice or something. But so I show up there, and I'm moving around. I'm looking at the, you know, the Baptists doing this, and, you know, the Hindu stuff, and I'm just making my way through. And I remember there was a guy there who had brought a couple of the older texts. They weren't exceptional books. They were a couple of the older texts, maybe from like the turn of the century, right? That he brought from his mosque, right? Apparently, they'd inherited it from, you know, one of the older authority figures, you know, a couple of decades back. And I asked him, you know, could I take a look at it, because I'm interested in this sort of thing. And so I'm flipping through the book and everything like that, and I think I see one of these things inside. Those little, and he sort of like traces the room to trying to find the little black pouch. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this. Yeah. There was one of those wedged in between the pages. And I remember seeing this and I'm thinking, oh, somebody left their eye patch in here, you know, like, you better get this out of here. And the guy was like, no, this is one of our traditions, right? And I asked him about it, and he says, that there's a certain, like level of superstition and witchcraft and that sort of thing, just like there was in Christianity all the way back, to pagan times, right? There's some of that in Islam too, apparently. And throughout the Middle East, sometimes people would they take these sections out of a book of prayers or something and pop it in these little pouches, right? And then they would wear it because it was supposed to protect them from like the evil eye or something. And I thought that was fascinating. I was like, whoa, I can't believe, one, that people do that to books. First of all, it's the closest thing you can get to a crime, and two, that there were still people doing that in 1966, right? I've seen the hippies do some strange things, but I didn't know people were still doing that kind of thing. And it was just,
as he says this, I'm going to begin just opening all the various books on the bookshelf, leafing through them to see if I can find any more of these packets.
okay. You open a book, out falls another black pouch. You open another book, out falls a black pouch.
I'm going to take the Quran from Ada, take the segment that we took out of it initially, put it back into the black pouch.
And then I'm going to start draping these pouches around everyone's necks if they don't resist.
Have enough string
I'm
to do
assuming I
that?
find enough for all 6 of us.
You basically, every time you take a book out of the shelf and open it up and kind of vigorously shake it, you find one. So if you're willing to keep going, you're going to find enough for everybody present.
Put it in the pocket.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if it's going to fit on everybody's like neck or anything, but I'm going to try to find a way to secure it.
Yeah.
If people let me, to every single, the 4 of us in the group, Daniel and Harry.
Some of them have a considerable length of string. Others only have a little bit, clearly meant to be secured to like maybe a wrist or some kind of like part of the clothing or something. Yeah, but you find enough of them to get everybody covered, including Harry and Daniel, because there are plenty of books on his shelf.
I mean, Daniel, I know I'm being a little bit weird here, but we can use all the luck and superstition we can get, and if it works for some people, it should work for us, I mean,
sure.
It's a weird situation we're in.
Didn't you talk differently earlier?
I'm a lot of things to a lot of people, and I'm secured to his wrist. I'm going to move on.
Oh, okay.
Oh boy.
All right. With this on, Cullen is going to walk outside of the shack, step a foot into the brush line.
Okay. You feel that same kind of, tightening of the muscles and skin. You feel that same sense of dread.
All right, so that this thing doesn't protect me, then I'm just gonna walk back out, and go fuck.
Easy
Can I
to
just
remember.
throw
Stick
all the
together.
hotel into there? Bring this entire fucker to the ground.
Let's go back to the other one first. If this has this collection of books, arguably more valuable than the other one.
So let me get this straight, Cullen. You, a clearly identified white man, are going to burn this hut, which has a collection of precious holy texts from a person of color's religion. I just want to make sure that we're very clear about that. That's what you want to do.
You walked right into it, man.
Fuck you.
And what's more is he's a British white man, or at
I am
least
not
from
British.
the British Isles.
Excuse you.
He's a neighbor.
Back to that.
Well, I mean, he's still Catholic, right? So
It is technically
Yeah,
a
sounds better.
jihad. Technically a
What
jihad.
I was talking about though was burning this fucker. When I was saying burn this to the ground, I was talking about the forest.
Forest, huh? Okay.
So you're a white man
That's
that
environmental
has come to a
terrorism,
tropical
right?
climate
Yeah.
and wants to burn down the rainforest.
That's
There is no winner. There is no winner.
that's eco-terrorism.
Mhm.
I mean, the cool people these days are eco-terrorists. So
Are they?
Yeah,
Only
they
in
are.
Final Fantasy.
Can't you hear the planet crying out in pain?
Oh,
Anyway.
I can't believe they had him sing the actual ending
Oh, right,
battle
yeah.
fanfare at the end of one of
Yeah.
the.
the only time it's like in the game,
They had
or maybe in the Coliseum.
they had Prompto in Final Fantasy 15 do that too. Singing the the little fanfare.
fanfare.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys are, kind of huddled around, outside this shack. Cullen's just popped back out of the forest.
He's again. Colin just goes, "Fuck! Fuck! 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 Can I just burn that forest to the ground?"
Well, it might
Give
not
it a
help
shot,
with the
but
forest.
That's a lot to try to torch.
Hey, it's hot here. And I take out my lighter and I take out a Molotov. And I'm like, I'm ready.
Well,
Well,
I just want to make sure you're all on board with it before I do it.
How dry does the wood appear?
fairly dry. I mean, it doesn't look kind of desiccated or anything. It seems like healthy foliage, but it doesn't seem like it's, just rained or anything like that. It's not dripping wet.
Is there, from what we can see from like outside the woods themselves on the ground, does there seem to be any like kindling, like dry leaves or twigs or anything of that nature in great supply?
There are a few sort of, sort of small branches and leaves and that sort of thing dotting the sand in front of the tree line, but not a whole lot. No.
I'm not sure that one Molotov is gonna, take care of this, or even three. It's a big forest, and there doesn't seem to be a lot here that's gonna catch.
let's walk and talk.
All right, put my stuff away.
We head into the next one or back to the old one?
Let's go back to that cyclone. It's the only other unique thing out here. And we're either gonna try our luck in the forest, which still sounds like a terrible idea, even with this protection.
It's a terrible
Or-
idea with this protection.
Exactly. Or we can try something else. The only other thing that stands out here is that cyclone.
As we get back to the other house, I'd like to just straight up look right underneath the
The porch area.
Foundation?
yeah.
Yeah, you're peeking under the thing.
Crawl space.
Snakes. Chock-a-block full of snakes.
Hello, snakes.
If you want to burn this one,
Yeah.
Woo, don't gotta tell me twice. I light the Molotov.
All right, everybody back! Everybody get back!
Everybody scrambles
And
away.
I chuck it into the door.
Okay, you chuck it. You hear a shattering sound. There's you can hear that sort of plume of flame, and sure enough, the inside you can see sort of, the one of the sort of decorative rugs is now like blazing, and there's a pretty sizable fire going on inside the shack.
Colin just goes, "Woo!"
It looks like inside this shack that well, it's not a conflagration. It's more like Manchester United just like won a game. It's like that level of like, oh hey, a little bit of property destruction here.
The Eagles
Feeling
won
better,
their
Colin?
first Super Bowl.
So
Right.
it's clearly blazing, and it looks like if you leave it alone, like the whole place is going to catch eventually.
Well, let's let that sort itself out, and I'm gonna give this thing a try. I'm gonna walk over and just walk into the cyclone again, at the edge, kind of hand out, pressed against the wall, and then just push in and through, trying to get back to the center.
Okay, sorry. Describe that to me again. Exactly what you're doing. Are you going into the cyclone?
Yeah. So with the, for lack of a better term, the talisman of sorts in hand,
Sure.
kind of pressing that up against the wall of the storm, and then pushing in and through to the center.
Okay, so you're holding it up and pushing your whole body through. Okay.
Yeah, walking through.
Give me a wisdom save, and now do it with advantage, please.
All right. That's a damn good start. That is a 19.
There is a kind of a queer sensation, sort of going through your body, but other than that, you seem fine. You push your way through, and you see that directly inside there's still you can still see the drag marks in the sand from where the beach chair was sort of unceremoniously hauled out. But other than that, it just looks like a relatively empty sort of little clearing of beach inside this swirling cyclone maelstrom thing.
Sigh, lay down in the sand, and just stare up for a bit. Just a moment of peace.
Okay, so you lay down and you're staring up directly, sort of up the chute, if
Yeah.
you will. And you can see sort of that it looks like the top of this maelstrom thing, what looked to you from the outside like clearly extending up for a while, like into the stratosphere, you can see that clearly has some kind of top to it. There's some kind of weird sort of cloudy sort of formation that looks like the cap of this thing, right? And you're lying there kind of looking at this thing sort of swirling and churning, and then you see a bit of black sort of split through those clouds for a brief second, like almost like a lightning bolt going through them, but it's very clearly like a thick black kind of, like a streak of ink somebody just splashed through, and then it's gone again.
The hell is that? I think I'm just gonna stare at it for a bit, try to get a better understanding of what I saw, see if it comes again.
About another minute goes by, and you see another kind of diagonal streak through this sort of cloud top, slash, and you see this black sort of streak, if you will, shoot through, and then disappear again.
Everything okay in there?
We've got the radios, so
You hear them through the radios.
there's something going on in here. There's something moving up above us. You seen anything streaking across the sky?
I'm gonna look up and try to see what I see.
Seems like a calm, clear, kind of lovely sort of, somewhat late, early evening beach scene to you, Reese.
I'm gonna try to stare up the column and see if I see anything of the storm.
You see the continuing sort of maelstrom stretching up into sort of the distance, sort of past your, the extent of your vision. But other than that, no, it looks about the same as it always has.
Don't know about you guys, but I don't see nothing.
I don't see anything either.
Ada, you see what looks like a small dot of black sort of forming in the center of this sort of cloud cap, as if there's a small aperture opening like on a camera, right? The circle is growing larger and larger, and then you see that this circle is now gaining a kind of three-dimensionality to it, and it's getting bigger and bigger, and you realize that now hurtling towards you from the top of this cyclone is what is very clearly the body of a giant black snake. And it is rushing down this column, falling towards you with its gaping mouth wide open.
We're just gonna try to roll out of the way while hammering the comms and just screaming snake.
Okay.
I'm going to instantly rush in there.
I am going to as well. Molotov
Like
at
the
the ready.
Colonel from Metal Gear.
My guns at the ready.
First of all, Ada, make a dexterity save, please. This thing is hurtling
That
towards
sounds
you.
good. Yep.
Oof.
Oof. That's a 5.
A 5. Okay.
Yep.
So you
Oof.
you react quickly enough, but because of the nature of like the sand and the suit and everything like that, you end up sort of like clumsily rolling off to the side just as Reese steps through. First of all, Reese, make a wisdom save with advantage, please.
That is going to be a 12.
Okay, you take 1 force damage.
Oh my.
So you, just as Reese pushes through, you, Ada, collide with basically his shins, and the two of you sort of like fall over each other into the sand, kind of tangled up. Cullen, I need you to make a wisdom save if you're going through with advantage.
Mm-hmm. That is a 22.
Okay. You're good as you push your way through, and you see basically Reese and Ada kind of knotted together in a kind of aborted game of Twister. They're on the ground. And you see that, and then you sort of look around expecting a snake, and you're like, where's Snake? I see no snake.
I'm going to look up.
You see, mere inches from your face and hurtling towards you is the maw of this giant snake. So, everyone, I need you to make dexterity saves, but Reese and Ada, now yours are going to be at disadvantage.
Dexterity saves. The thing I'm best at.
Exactly.
There's a 20 natural,
Hey, and a 1.
and there's a 5.
5, okay.
So total of 7.
Oh boy.
Oh my god, Ross, did you nat 1?
No,
Oh.
but I got a 3.
Oh.
Nice.
I got a 13.
13, okay. So
I
let's-
only have a -1 to dexterity saving throws.
I know that feeling.
I got a +2.
So-
Still not great.
This thing basically, this maw basically swallows each of you whole, basically, putting its entire sort of jaws around you, and you can feel as it sort of like snaps and constricts, you can feel the teeth sort of begin to like bite into your sides and cut into the hazmat suits and everything. Every one of you takes, let's see here.
Oh boy.
Do I hear this crash from outside?
Nope.
Kind of break the maelstrom?
Cullen is going to yell, Snake!
Okay, you all
Snake?
take 14 piercing damage.
I'm downed. Wait. No, I take only 12 piercing damage.
Because you
Because
choose
of-
to?
No, because my toughness
Tough.
lets me take 2 less damage from piercing and slashing damage.
Okay.
Which is
And-
good because now have 1 health left.
And everyone still conscious needs to make a Constitution save.
Fuck.
I'm immune to poison and the poison condition. Does that change anything?
Not in this case, no.
Okay.
I'm unconscious exactly at 0.
Okay.
13.
13.
Max con save.
You're good.
10 on con.
10. Okay. So you, as the sort of, these teeth are basically like cutting into your side, Reese, you realize that one of the fangs basically must have gotten into some kind of servo or control chip or something like that, and you find that you are stunned until the end of this thing's next turn.
All right, I am going to quickly use my reaction to take that 13 piercing damage to my charisma score instead of my hit points. So
Okay.
I'm going to take a lot of structural damage, and I will look very, very robotic. Because pretty much all of my human parts are being, like, shredded off me at the moment. So
Can you
I
take
have
a reaction
3
when you're
charisma
stunned?
left. Well, I'm taking the reaction in response to the damage, which is when this would trigger.
If it would be afterwards, would you?
I mean, I guess that's DM call. Would I be able to have the reaction for the damage before I rolled the con save, or would it be concurrent? Because the reaction
No
takes
idea on
place
that one.
when I take the damage.
I mean, technically, the language gives that the damage and the Constitution save are happening at the same time. So,
I mean, I was planning to do that anyway because I have 12 hit points left. So I would definitely have done this to stay conscious either way.
I mean, it seems reasonable that you used your reaction there to at the trigger of damage. That makes sense to me. Also, Reese, after you've done that, I need you to roll a D100 for me.
Ooh, fun. 77.
77, you say? Wow. What a poor choice.
Crit in some systems.
Okay. So, for 2 full minutes, because of the damage that this thing is dealing to your sort of internal mechanisms, you said 77, right?
Yes.
You are experiencing an overpowering urge to eat some of the sand that is on the beach.
Ah, okay, gotcha.
Which is being cut through, obviously, by the sensation of pain and also the darkness of being swallowed by a giant snake.
Really hungry to eat sand.
And integrity, minimal.
Okay. And with that, our session's over for tonight.
Go damn.
Rude.
Okay.
We
so,
only have one more session, guys.
Yep, only one.
It's always just one more.
Well, I thought I thought that maybe we would wrap things up tonight, but things got a little more complicated. Now that Ada and Reese and Cullen are all inside the maw of a giant snake, well, things are much more complicated. So, all right. So this is our normal feedback time for you to tell me how shit the session was and how bored you were. So let's just let me have it.
Think I rolled? Oh.
I got to make Molotovs. This is a good session for me.
And some stuff down.
Yeah.
Definitely still
I
trying to
honestly
piece
said-
together where we're supposed to go.
What's that?
Yeah. Seriously.
I have no idea what direction we're supposed to head. I'm just very
Mostly
confused
probably
about.
the forest, but
But we're getting such a strong signal of like, yeah, no, not the forest though.
Yeah.
it's the It's dangerous, but you got to push through it, kind of thing.
I will say
Is it?
that vagueness is intentional, and you have a couple of options, none of which are particularly comfortable. So
So in other words,
Like,
like
that's my
basically
thing.
getting a bunch of people in the party like either insta dead or at 1 HP or.
it's gonna be rough either way.
Mhm.
So
Because
It's-
the direction I'm getting is we need to kill the snake, but you kill the snake or where you kill the snake is a little up.
maybe you don't need to kill the snake. Maybe the snake isn't
That's
even.
true.
Maybe the snake
Maybe
isn't
we
even
just
real.
Need to be,
There
maybe
is
we
no-
just
Maybe
need
it's
to
not
be-
even a snake.
What if we just need to be eaten by the snake and the snake is the
Yeah.
way home?
Maybe you just need to be
Yeah, I
eaten
was
by the
thinking
snake.
of that lying on the beach. There was that moment where I'm like, do I just want to be like Oblivion take me and see what happens? It's like don't
Now we're getting to
respond
the
at
more.
all.
See, my next thought is if we were gonna continue, I was gonna start shooting in the snake or take out a Molotov
Of course,
and throw
yeah.
it down
Yeah,
the snake.
I was gonna start shooting inside the snake. Yeah.
Because that's just a classic move.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm stunned,
Put up
so
for
I
me
don't really
too.
have that option. But
If something is big and trying to eat you, you keep shooting.
That's
Blow it up from
that's
the
like,
inside.
yeah,
But when-
exactly.
yeah, when
That's
you're-
like Giant Creature 101.
but yet when you're so lost in a D&D session, I guess death is an option. We could always just die.
Yeah,
it's always an
Tried to take that option last week, but you guys kind of took that away from me.
it's kind of drifting into the Dark Souls methodology where like you're just trying to gather intel, and so you're like, yeah, I'll throw my body at this. Why not?
rub up against everything.
Well, I'm gonna
see what
start.
happens.
Yeah, given that this thing's first assault did 13 damage and stunned me, I'm gonna go ahead and start rolling a new character.
Okay,
For just to be prepared.
good.
For next time.
I probably should as well.
I will
Because
also
I'm at
Sitting at
1
zero.
HP.
I will also say that as a kind of a hint, not that this is like some kind of overly complicated puzzle or anything like that, but usually in my constructed adventures, I will work in elements of like actual history or mythology or spirituality or like some of that kind of stuff. I'll mention.
This is Apophis.
What?
You okay there?
Giant Egyptian snake god of death and evil.
No, but good guess.
Dang it.
So part of the expectation that I have for my players is if you're finding it, and this isn't, I'm already saying this isn't metagaming to me, but my expectation is that for the players, when they get that new information, right, like, you know, and this is the first session, so this is a perfect time to like talk about this. If there's a point in the session where you feel like, I don't really know, I can't really connect the dots here, it's perfectly reasonable to me for you as players after the session to go, I'm going to look up the Quran, all right, you know, or like I'm going to look up genies or like the black pouch thing, and like I'm going to see what this tells me, and then bring that knowledge in some way back to the situation, right? Whether it is kind of like a random sort of flash of insight that you might have, or whether it's borne out from the plot itself, whether you're doing research or what have you. So that's something that is not 100% necessary. But again, if you find yourself kind of like, I don't really see where the connections are happening here, you know, that's certainly an option that you have. I encourage that, is what I'm saying. So.
Alright.
Okay.
So what you're telling us is research snakes in the Quran.
And
Sure.
cyclones.
Sure.
Because I had the idea for a second there where I'm like, okay, if this is running off of my dream of genie logic, then we're inside the lamp, is that like the top where it's been
Where
screwed
it
in?
comes out, yeah.
I can pretty
Is that-
cle-
is
What
that where
happens if we just let
where
the
it connects?
cyclone take us?
I can pretty
Oh.
clearly say. So first of all, to answer your question, Ada, there's, obviously my work is always based on I Dream of Genie rules. So
Excellent.
that's 100% true. No, like I can assure you, there's no way in hell that that's the top of the lamp. And Cullen, Luke, if you decide to let the cyclone take you, you're just going to be transported to Oz instead, and that will just be a separate problem. That'll just be a new
Man,
problem.
then we'll have to take the dang slippers off the wicked
Yeah,
witch
yeah.
that has a house falling on her. Then we'll have to go fight. We'll have to go melt, but actually sublime the Wicked Witch of the West.
It's a whole nother hassle. You don't want to buy.
Or
It'll be a
just
goddamn
put
yellow
together.
brick road.
Cullen would
Flying
just set
monkeys.
all of Oz on fire.
Well,
Have to go expose a fraud of a wizard. I mean, god damn it.
yeah, it's a whole to do. Right.
Threatens the Wizard of Oz at gunpoint for the way home.
Just click
There's no
your
place
feet.
like home, motherfucker.
Oh, you wouldn't want to slip on my bullets, would you?
Any more feedback on the session? Things you liked or didn't like, or
It's more or less just kind of for me just figuring out what I'm actually supposed to do and like kind of investigating everything. This
Getting
is
into that right mindset, I think. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
well, again, this is our first case, and we're coming to sort of understand each other in terms of not only how I like design and plot things, but also how you guys interact with that stuff, and so we're learning, right? Okay, well, thank you all for joining me again. Our case is almost done. It's right there. We're very close.
That's
But
what we thought last time.
Well, yes.
You never know with role
This was our
playing.
beach episode.
The co-authored story.
We're very close. So we can look forward to this sort of pretty definitively. I'm calling it now. Pretty definitively ending this case next session. So that you have to look forward to.
And then
One way
audience,
or
just
another.
be prepared. Second case, Plum is probably going to be the only original member of the Section
Sure.
C left.
He'll be missing a couple of he'll be missing a couple
You
of
guys don't
limbs.
know is- this is my third team.
Oh yeah.
Plum's been here before.
Plum has been a member of sections A and B, but both of those have been shuttered. Yeah.
Sections
point, we
A
have to
through H
question
have been complete
How
failures.
much is Plummet altered?
Yeah, it's pretty. There's deep lore here that you're going to discover.
Yep. Then the second case will be run by Section D.
Right. I'm fast forwarding a couple of weeks from now when we're all in section Q, and you've been
Or get to
relegated
the
to
X-Files.
relegated to desk duty at this point.
Man, I'm just waiting for Section AA.
Right.
You know, once we
Go
get
all
to
the way
Section
around.
Z, then need another team right after that.
Yeah.
I rolled
Or
a 20 on
A1.
filing paperwork.
It's going to take a long time, but I think we can make it to Triple X.
I've got my +7 in bureaucracy. Yeah.
And that's a necessary technique. Wouldn't
All right.
that just be intimidation?
No. There's a very fine difference between actively intimidating someone and sapping their will to live via forms.
Yes. Excuse me. Sleight of hand.
Yeah, paperwork deals necrotic damage.
Sort of sleight of soul, if you will.
I don't know how I'm still alive after working in bureaucracy.
It's true.
I am a shell of my former self.
And with that, we'll leave you all ready for another session. Goodbye, everybody.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye, Ross's grandma.